Hello and welcome back to my series of videos on running and meditation, where I'm focusing on the philosophy of Stoicism. And this episode I'm going to be talking about survival and what it means to survive, which is basically what everybody is doing currently right now. We are all just surviving, but what it means in terms of Stoicism. On my long runs, my mind's free to wander. It's free from distractions, from my phone, from work, from housework, from other people. And I tend to think about things that are going on in my daily life. And lately I've been thinking about a series of books I've been reading to my children called the I Survived book series by a woman named Lauren Tarhis, who writes books from the perspective of a young protagonist that's living through historical events. I've read I Survived a Grizzly Attack, I Survived the Titanic, I Survived D-Day. They usually feature a young, mostly male but sometimes female protagonist who the young reader can identify with, who lives through a historic event or just a traumatic event. It usually starts off with the young child thinking about past trauma, usually one or multiple dead parents. The protagonist then goes on to live through another traumatic event, either a historic event or some sort of trauma that happens to them that's described in the book and the main point of the book. But the overall theme is that the main character always survives. It's right there in the title. It's spoiled for you right from the beginning. But these books teach children a very important lesson of Stoicism, something that Seneca taught to one of his students through a letter that's been preserved. And in the letter, he's writing to a statesman who is in charge of a small city state, who is worried about a court case in which he might lose all his power and wealth. Seneca tells him that imagine the worst will happen, that you will lose the court case, you will lose your power, you will lose your wealth. Where will you be and what will you be? You will be without power and poor. And there are many poor people who go about surviving. They go about their day, and sometimes fortune shines on them and they become wealthy and powerful. And the same could happen to you again. Critics of Stoicism say it's pessimistic to focus on bad outcomes, but as we know, success is never guaranteed, and adversity is the one guarantee in life that we will face. And focusing on bad things happening and how we will overcome them is important to daily life. I remember when I was very young and I saw the movie A Night to Remember, which is the 1950 Titanic movie. Ever since I saw that movie, I can't step on a boat without imagining it sinking, and I need to know where the lifeboats are and where the life preservers are. I'm not neurotic about it, I'm not constantly on edge, and I'm not pessimistic that the boat is going to sink, but if it does, I want to know where it is, just like I wear a seatbelt in a car, because I'm not planning on the car crashing, but if it does, I want to be wearing a seatbelt. Equally, after I served in Iraq for 2 years in the Army, I never go into a situation in which I don't know how to exit the room. I always sit on the aisle seats in movie theaters and on planes, because I imagine the worst could happen and I'm going to want to leave this room immediately, and the fastest way to do it is if I'm on an aisle seat. What Seneca was teaching his student was to practice misfortune, was to look out at what you're trying to do and what you're going to do in life and understand that bad things are going to happen, but ultimately you are going to survive. And I love that book series has captured the attention of all of my children, because it really, that's what all of life is that you're living your life as best you can, and then bad things happen and then you survive. Another lesson in meditation of Stoicism is to focus on your own mortality, that eventually you will die and it will come, and you will not be in control of that. That is a certain, and you cannot skip out on that. But that is what makes life worth living, and why you should be trying to live the best life you can with the time you are given. And surviving is the base part of that. You should always struggle and fight to survive, and know you can. but you must also know that it will not be easy and it will not be fair, and likewise you should not take it lightly. You should take life and living seriously, and that can mean eating healthy, or knowing how to get out of a building, or knowing where to sit in a crowded theater if the fire alarm goes off. Thank you for watching. If you watched this video and you enjoyed it, consider donating to my charity that I'm running for in the New York City Marathon this fall. The link is on the screen and in the description.